Did you know that you can buy a rental property with just 5% down payment? And no, it's not a loophole. It's CMHC MLI Select program. So today we will deep dive into Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation MLI Select program and see what it is and how you can benefit from it. So it is a game-changing initiative designed to make multi-unit housing more affordable, energy efficient, and accessible all across Canada. Hello everyone, my name is Parth Soni. I'm a realtor based in Ontario. If you find any value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. So the very first thing, let's check out what is MLI Select program. So it's basically a mortgage loan insurance product designed for both new construction and also for older units like existing units with 5 or more units. And if you are someone who is going for a retirement type of community, you need at least 50 plus bed to qualify for that program. Now, the goal is to reward development that prioritize affordability, sustainability, and accessibility. These are the three factors that is shaping the future of housing in Canada, and you will see why these three factors are very important in this one. It's a point-based system. Now, let's check out what are some of the key benefits of this program. The very first one, which is my personal favorite, is a high LTV loans. It's a loan to value ratio. Basically, you can finance up to 95% of your property value with as little as 5% down. Just to give you an idea, if you want to buy traditionally investment property, you will be looking roughly about 20% and higher, and that is what's stopping most of the investors over there, because this kind of like multifamily units, the city where I operate, starts from roughly about, I would say, $1.5 million, and to come up with 20% down payment for $1.5 million, it's very high. And if you can benefit from this kind of program just with 5% down, you can definitely, it will make your path easier into multifamily units. And the second one, which is my favorite, is then extended amortization period. It will allow you to stretch your mortgage for up to 50 years for lower monthly payment. This is very essential for all the investors out there to manage their cash flow. And the third in this one, the benefit includes is the limited recourse financing. At a higher program scores, borrower may qualify for a reduced personal liability on loan as well. Now, this does sounds amazing, but let's check it out. How do you qualify for this one and where the point system comes? Now, just to give you an idea, MLI Select program based on three factors. The very first one is affordability, the second one is energy efficiency, and the third one in accessibility, and you will see why. Now let's check out the very first, that is affordability. So if you see over here, as I mentioned, three factors that is contributing to qualifying for this one. So let's check out the affordability. Now again, in new construction and existing program both, this is available on a government website. You can check it out over there. Now if you're someone at a level 1, that is a 50 points, you will get a 50 points on that one. But for that, in order to qualify for that, 10% of the unit should be max at 30% of median renter income. And if you want a higher points, now just to give you an idea, the higher the points it will be, the higher the benefits you will rip out of it. And I will share the table in few seconds. The second level, you get 70 points, but it has to be 15% of the unit at max of 30% of the median renter income. When you go to the level 3, that is the highest, you will get 100 points for that. But requirement for that is minimum 25% of the unit has to be at a maximum of 30% of the median renter income. Now, same goes with an existing property. If you are not constructing new property, if you are buying something which is on the market as of right now on MLS or off market properties, these are all the criteria for level 1, level 2, level 3. The point system is same, but the number of units, like the maximum, like the minimum 40% of the units at max 30%. So that increases because you are already purchasing an existing unit. If you're going for a new construction, that limits the lower little bit, which is favorable in most cases for many investors are. So all the way anyway, you can get from 50 points to 100 points depending on what level you fit at. And just to give you an idea, this is not for a 1 or 2 year. It has to be of a minimum 10-year in terms of affordability from the date of occupancy. So it's not that you got a tenant for a year based on the level 3 and after 2 or 3 years you will churn them. It will not happen in this one. It has to be minimum of 10 years from the date of occupancy, and you have to provide over each and every year, you have to provide proofs that you are maintaining that level. And if you're someone who's willing to go for 20 years or more, you can get an additional 30 points for this as well. Now, they used to have more points for energy efficiency, but they capped at 50 to increase this affordability criteria. So that's where their main focus in out of these three factors. Now the second one over here is energy efficiency. In that also they have three levels: 20 points, 35 points, and 50 points. 20 is the minimum, 50 is the highest one. So it requires, like, based on new construction and also on the existing one. Level 1 for a new construction, you need to have minimum of 20% better than NECB or NBC. That is basically National Energy Code of Canada, and you can find that online. Like, if you are getting more than that, at least 20% more than that, you will qualify for level 1 at 20%, and again level 2 and level 3 like 35, 50. If you are doing 40% more or better than NECB, then you will qualify for 50 points in this one, which is the highest at this tier. And for existing property, same 50% decrease over current baseline, because you don't have any baseline in the new construction except NECB. But for the existing property, if you decrease what is your current baseline at 40%, you can qualify for 50 points in this one. Now the next we have is the accessibility. Again, you can get 20 points or 30 points in this one. They don't have three levels in this one. They only have level 1 and level 2 in this one. Like, for a level 1 unit, a minimum of 15% of the units are considered accessible in accordance with CSA standard, and minimum 15% of the unit are universal design, or the building should have received like 𝗥𝗡𝗏𝗦𝗏 Foundation accessibility certificate. And if you're someone who wants to go for a level 2, like the highest point, and again I will explain you why the highest point is really nice in this one in just a few minutes. The next one, at level 2, you have minimum 15% of the units are considered accessible in accordance with the CAS standard, and 100% of the units need to be a universal design, or 100% of the units are accessible in accordance with the CSA code. Or of course, it must have, or it might have received like award certification from 𝗥𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗦𝗏 Foundation. Now let's check out how the scoring works over here, and why I was mentioning the higher the points you have, it's better for you, because in long term, based on the recent program eligibility, you will get LTV up to 95%. So if you see over here, with a 50 points, 70 points, and 100 points, it also existing like it also distinguish between new construction and existing property. So let's check out for a new construction over here. If you are getting 50 points, maybe you will be eligible for 95% of LTV, but amortization will be max at 40 years. Except if you are going for 100 points in this one, if you're eligible for 100 points, the amortization will be 50 years, and hence the cash flow will be improved in that. Same goes with an existing property. If you have minimum 50 points, LTV could be ranging from anywhere between 85% to 95%. In order to qualify for 95%, you have to achieve a minimum of 100 points. If you are at a minimum of 50 points, you can still have 85%, which I think it's really nice, considering the traditional mortgage which you have over here, which is like 80%, at least minimum of 80%, and 30 years. In this one, you will qualify for 85% and 40 years. I know I'm so throwing so much technical terms over here, but this is for someone who have a little bit of investing basics, so they will get what I'm trying to say over. Now, in order to be eligible, there are some criteria apart from this is also required in terms of like net worth requirement. Now, in terms of net worth, you must have a minimum of 100K net worth and 25% of the loan value. Let's say if you're planning to buy $1 million investment property in this one, the net worth would be about $250,000, and this is something you can structure it based on your current home or current equity in the home or your investment and goals like that. And if you're someone who's planning to get into this kind of program, let me know. I can connect you with a mortgage agent who specialize in this kind of programs. And just to give you an idea, in terms of net worth requirement, if you have 100 plus points in this one, there may be some flexibility in terms of your net worth requirement, but it has to be 100 plus points in this. And the other one is the management experience. You will need at least 5 years of experience managing multi-unit properties. Or if you don't have, which many people don't have it, I mean, some will have it, but if you don't have it, you need to have a contract in place with a qualified property management firm, a formal contract, so that you can bypass that. The other requirement for this one, the site has to be contamination free. So of course you will need an environmental study done on this one if you're planning to buy a land and do a new construction on that. So that is everything for MLI Select program. If you structure it properly, it's a really worth program in my opinion. And in current market, it is one of the most powerful tool available to a developer, small developer and a new developer who wants to invest and want to get into a multifamily market in current rate. And I think it's a really nice program out there in terms of it provides good mixture of investors who can get a good benefit from this program. At the same time, the tenant or the person who will be living down there, they will be also have a good benefits from the three pillars, that is affordability, accessibility, and energy efficient. Thank you so much for watching. That's everything for today. I will see you in the next video.